I've never heard of The Plot in You before, so thank you to Chris Birch, who jumped into my comments and said I should check this out. The song is called Left Behind. I don't know anything about it, so I'm excited. Let's see what it's like. And go. It's exciting. Sounds kind of synthy. Ooh, it's got a bit of pace to it. Lovely balance of bass and guitar.
Time has hit you different, but I don't think you've changed.
Nice voice.
Craving me was useless. All excuses drained.
Nice cymbal sound. I'm into this. This vibe is some old school kind of rock. Not mad old school, like 20 years. Joyful chorus! Stop! Sing your heart out. Nice change in the snare pattern. Really satisfying melody. Bit of distorted on the vocals. Beautiful.
I still keep your secrets. Know your worst mistakes. Played into my weakness. Stripped away my strength.
Lovely 16th riffage. I'm all about this. This is fantastic. Ah! Big catchy chorus. Sounds like a really low in the mix harmony. Where are we going here? Big tom-toms maybe? Half tempo, half time.
Time has hit me different.
Sometimes, yeah.
I feel the same. No, I feel this distance.
Not the beat I was expecting though. It's nice. Ah, love that. Mates! For some reason I'm getting the Atari's vibes from this a little. Not a bad thing. That voice then reminds me of something else. Can't think of what it is. Mate! Chris Birch, hey, thank you, man. That's exactly up my street. Fucking love that. Oh, hang on, pause. Now, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit with my post-reaction stuff, because normally I'll just ramble on and I try and think of as many things as I have to say while they flitter through my brain. I'm gonna try and add a little bit of structure, see if that helps in any way. So I'm gonna first talk about the drums, then the guitars, then vocals, then any other elements I noticed, and then the song overall. So to begin with, the drums. Loved the drums, very nice recording, good balance in there, really nice in the mix. Early on I could tell that the recording's gonna be nice. The cymbal sounds in there were so full, like there was plenty of color in the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Resonance after the hits, which I thought was great, and the whole balance there was nice. And thoughtful as well. When we went to the breakdown later on in the song, I was expecting it to come in with some floor to, you know, the epicness build up to the last chorus. But the beat was slightly different. A lot of snare work, led kind of with the snare in a different pattern than expected. Went through some toms later on. But so that was great. There was a bit of creativity there, but it wasn't overly busy. It didn't overclutter the song. It served it well, but added a little bit of unique taste to it. So very nice drum work. Guitars, Loved the kind of 16th note patterns on the riff that was going on over kind of the beats earlier on. It kind of, I don't know, it added a fullness of sound, but again, not over complex, which my simple brain really enjoys. So I thought that supported really nicely. There were some moments in there I couldn't even tell if there was kind of piano work or guitar work, because there's some nice effects going on in that. But again, similar to the drums, it was proficient, it was tight, it was decorative, but it wasn't over the top, it wasn't overly complex. It supported the overall gist of the song. So really loved the guitar work on that. Vocals were fantastic. It reminded me a lot of vocals from, yeah, like 20 years ago. I'm thinking of bands like The Story of the Year and that kind of, well, that era, not necessarily that band. Sausin, Taking Back Sunday, Finch, maybe to a degree, but a sort of earnest, heartfelt, but quite poppy sort of vocal. It was very, you know, subdued in the verses, kind of intimate in there. But then in the chorus, they had a little bit of distortion onto the vocal, just add a bit of that grit and edge. And it reminded me of some other singer. I can't think who it is now. If I think of it later, I'll pop it in the description. But there's a sort of tone and melody and edge to that voice. It reminded me of someone else, which is very kind of grounding in nostalgia for me, which I think really helped me enjoy that as well. That overall sound of that vocalist I thought was a really wonderful range, really nicely delivered, and it sat really, really well over the rest of the music in the song. In terms of other elements, I liked the way that song started. I could kind of tell it was a nice tempo potential with that sort of synthy build up before everything kicked in. So I liked that, bit of synth in there, perhaps, but I don't know how much of that was kind of guitar with effect, you know, using delay, etc., or whether there was moments of piano, because sometimes you can get some effects on guitars that make it sound sort of like piano when you're doing individual notes, but there's moments in there that sounded to me like little piano motifs, which I really liked. Either way, whatever it was, loved the additional elements to kind of add some production level to that song. Overall, for me, that was a gorgeous song. It had a great kind of driving tempo to it. It was joyful. It has some excellent like chord progressions with the melody over the top. It's not super strange, complex, proggy, etc., right? But I do like a lot of that stuff as well. There's a place for that. But just something about, I don't know, maybe most of my life I listened to pop music. So when you have more of a predictable song structure at times with that kind of level of harmony between the main vocal and the guitar work, the kind of chords they're choosing there, and the bass and the drums all coming together in that kind of simple driving unison, it just lights me up. I absolutely adored that. It was great. It had a heartbreak to it, but it had a positivity to it with the kind of, again, with the chords and the overall sound. So I loved the shit out of that. I thought that was brilliant. I'd almost call that a banger, you know? But I think it's probably maybe too tame to be a full-blown banger. But do you know what? I'm also going to start, potentially, I mean, let me know in the comments if you think this is terrible, but I thought it might be fun to have like an overall rating of the song. Now, we're not here to rate songs necessarily. Music's to be enjoyed. It's entirely subjective. It's my own opinion, etc., etc. This is just for the lulz, for the fun, and like, you know, who knows? I like to kind of call out some songs that are exceptional. So I've thought of a 5-point rating scale. The lowest rating I will give is not for me. Now that doesn't mean it's not a good song. It does not mean that at all. It's just not for me. Music is a very subjective thing ultimately. So if something just, I don't really like it, doesn't mean it's not good. It doesn't mean there isn't a great fan base available for them out there who's completely justified in liking it. It's just not for me. So that's the lowest rating I'll give, is like, yep, not my thing. Above that, I would say halfway decent. Like, I'm not gonna say it's a great song. Halfway decent is like, there's moments I liked. There were some things in there that were kind of interesting, were kind of good, but overall, not entirely what I was hoping for as a full song. In the middle of this tier system is solid. A solid song is really hard to write. It's commendable. It's a brilliant song. Solid is a very good, nay, solid rating. So any decent song that is more than halfway decent, I'm gonna consider to be pretty solid. Almost at the top then is gonna be delicious. So beyond solid, if it really lights me up, I'm really enjoying that as a delicious song, I'm gonna give it a rating of delicious. That is some top tier shit. But above that is god tier masterpiece. And I don't know how often I'll ever say a song, certainly on first listen, it's hard to necessarily know if something is a masterpiece from the off. That's probably gonna be reserved to the likes of, like, I don't know, Sleep Token, for example. They come up with masterpieces in my view. So on that basis, with that rating system, I would give this song It's been no surprise to you if you heard my review thus far. Delicious. That is beyond solid. I fucking loved that. That was a delicious song. Not necessarily a masterpiece. It did some things I didn't expect. It has some creativity in there. There's a lovely gap, I forgot to mention. Love a gap. But it's not a masterpiece, but it is a fantastic song. It's beyond solid for me. I thought that was fucking excellent. So, delicious. If you enjoyed this video, please do boop the like button. It'll help other people on YouTube find and potentially enjoy this video as well. If you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe, and then you'll see future videos that I make doing reactions here. If you're interested in music beyond the rock genre, do feel free to check out the link in the description. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll see you in another video.